Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. It's still the year 2025, which is what? It's Jaws' semi-centenary. It's Jaws' 50th birthday, all of this year. I've done loads of videos so far, but after a wee lull, we're back with some more Jaws for you. And it's come courtesy of our good friend on the Emerald Isle, Captain Ronnie. Yes, you know him, you love him, Captain Ronnie. There's a little box here, a wee box of, well, I don't know what it is. All I know is that there's some bags of crisps in there. Yes, Ireland's favourite crisps. The Tatoes should be in there, he's promised them. And also something Jaws related. But what could it be? Now, this arrived yesterday. This wee box set here arrived yesterday. And you know, I know when there's bags of crisps in one of these boxes now. I can smell them as well. But there's something else in there which is throwing the balance off a little bit. So I don't know. Is there something? I don't know. Yesterday, this box arrived on the 28th of August 2025. Yesterday was also the anniversary of Robert Shaw's death. 28th of August 1978, he died at the age of 51. 51. I always find that really, well, almost unbelievable. A great calibre of actor, a fantastic resume of movies and stage productions and writings. When you look at Jaws, when you see Quint, he seems to be ageless. He's not a young man, but nor is he an old man. They've made him look older than Robert Shaw really was. Made him all gnarly and barnacled with massive big sideys and all that. But when you watch it, it's hard to believe when I watch that film now that I'm several years older than Robert Shaw was when he played Quint. I don't look like that, do I? Am I that barnacled and gnarly? I use that word gnarly because, under advisement, I use that word gnarly because someone actually said that to me in the pub. I think I mentioned it on a previous video. I said to him, he goes, how would you reckon I am? Because I had a vest on and I was kind of buffed up at the time. And you take care of yourself, don't you? I said, yeah, so do you, mate. And he goes, well, how old do you think I am? And I went, oh, about 21. He goes, I'm 24. I went, well, you look great then, don't you? Because you look younger than you are. How old do you reckon I am? Well, we won't go into that. But he said I was about 36, something like that. I was like, wow, you're way off the mark there, mate, by about 20 years. And he went, well, you're looking good for your age. A bit gnarly, but you're looking good. A bit gnarly. Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, I'm still drinking after yesterday's video, the alien-inspired video. This stuff, Meagher's 1878 Canadian rye whiskey, and it's bloody lovely. And I did say I'd get through it quite quickly. I have got through it quite quickly. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Captain Ronnie. And of course, here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Pretty good stuff. I didn't make it myself. I'll be returning to that periodically throughout this video, of course. So now, where's my ski and do? Let's get into this. Because I can't take too long. I've actually got quite a busy day ahead. And also, my daughter's about to come down and do her lunch. Is it lunch or is it brunch? Because it's still sort of mid-morning at the moment, but she said, you've got an hour, tops, Dad, an hour. So let's see what we can do with this. Oh, I've got to be careful. As you all know, the ski and do has a habit of you slicing through all this gaffer tape to suddenly plunge through. And I don't want to wreck what's in there. And nor do I want to split the bags of potatoes open either. But let's go. Oh, God. Didn't do that very well at all. Jaws is playing his 3D print in the next month or so, I think. So me and my son are going to go and see it in 3D for the first time. Oh, God. By now you think, after all the years of unboxings, I should be a bit of a supremo at this. Well, that was the most untidy of severings. So, oh God. And we are confronted with cardboard. A cardboard piece. Okay, cardboard. And look at that. You know what? You know when in Kelly's Heroes, when our heroes from Kelly's Heroes find the gold, which they've been trying to like gone behind enemy lines. They've even joined up with a Tiger Tank commander, like to rob this bank, and they open up the gold and it shines in their faces. I'm more happy to have that revealed to me than 10 million bucks in gold bullion. The best crisps in the world, smoky bacon Tatoes. Now I've said this to you before, I've just seen something underneath this. So these are protective layer as well. I've just seen something that says Jaws 50. Okay, well we knew it was going to be Jaws, that's the whole bloody point, isn't it? But Captain Ronnie said to me that these are going to be banned because of the flavouring does not agree with some European bloody law. So they'll be banned at some point. Now this news came out probably about a good year ago, maybe a bit longer, and it hasn't happened yet. So let's just keep ourselves. The cat has just leapt up behind you guys. That's why you shook like there was an earthquake. And she's watching me. She can hear the bags rustling. That's why she's here. So we have Tatoes, 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 Tato, 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 Tato. Put them all down there for now. Tato, Tato, Tato. Wow. He's packed them in well. And folks, straight away, revealed is a bunch of Funko Fabulosity. Don't you be... Oh, the cat's sitting amongst all those bags now. They'll be getting dragged around the house. Funko Jaws stuff. And they're all Funko 50, right? Okay, well, there's the big one there. So let's have a look at that one first, shall we? This, God, that wasted. Oh, there's something else. There's something else underneath this. Okay, well, first of all, Funko released this. Of course, what is it? It's the poster. It's the Jaws poster. There's Chrissy Watkins. She was the first. She was the first. As if Bruce, she's the first victim in the movie. But Bruce has been chomping his way all up the coast, hasn't he? Up and down the coast, chomping everything in sight, knowing him. A little shaking, a little tenderising, down you go. But there she is. Bit of skinny dipping, but well, I can see she's got a bikini on. Captain Ronnie's already got this, and he sent me pictures of it. So I was asking him, is she nudie nude? Is there bitsy bobs on show? And he went, oh no, it's a bikini. And I thought they could have got away with that, because just having the bubbling, sea, the surf around her, magical bits, and you'd be none the wiser. But no, they've kind of wimped out. I'm not knocking it. I can understand why it's been done, but really they could have got round that, But anyway, this is what was throwing the weight off. Oh, the ring light's going to ping it out, but we'll work around it. But look at that. And you've got... Now, do you leave this in the box to display it? Or does it come out as a solid piece? Let's find out, shall we? Because I don't know. Chrissy Watkins, Susan Backliny. A lot of rumours flew around for many years after the making of Jaws that her spine was dislocated. She had a lifelong ton of pain and pressure, because to simulate the shark dragging her around the water, as you guys well know, there was crew on the beach and divers below, and she was in a harness, and they were yanking this rope which connected underwater and would move it from side to side, mimicking the horrible violent lurching of her being in the shark's jaws. And everyone said her back was throughout, busted vertebrae and all sorts of things. Well, she always said, no, it wasn't. I wasn't hurt at all. That's all myth and rumour. The thing is, I swear blind that I did see an interview with her, or rather read an interview with her, where she said her back was thrown. And I would be very surprised if it hadn't been jolted somehow or other, because it's such a violent process that she went through. So I think afterwards she's gone like, I've made a fortune out of this. I'm known on the fan circuit. She's sadly died now as well. She died a few years ago. a bad bat. No. I think she sort of calmed it all down. No, I was fine, it was okay. I'd be deeply surprised if she came out of that particular incident without a bit of a bad back, you know. Cheers to Chrissy Watkins, you know. This is what happens. I'm not drunk. Just can't walk or undress myself. Yeah, I'm an islander. Where are we going? Swimming! Oh, God. Oh, do you know what? That's really good. Yeah, it's in a sealed box. I didn't know it was like that. Stupid me. How else would it have been? Let's bring it in close. There's Bruce. You've got lots of bubbly water. You know, from either side of his jaws. And there she is. You can see the little bikini on her as well. Someone's alarm has just gone off. You might not be able to hear it, but I can hear it, and that's going to piss me off now. But that's great. Is it a shark alert, maybe? There she is. Jaws. Doesn't say Jaws 50th on that, does it? No, it doesn't. What does it say on top? No. It's just like a sort of embossed Funko Pop logo. But that is a beauty, isn't it? And that can sit proudly on a shelf. I've said this before many, many times, that even though the Funko figures have the little sort of those little push button, pin button eyes, and they're clearly a caricature version of the character, the detail and the little aura that you get with each and every little character that they bring out, they're not something to laugh at. They're not like a childish thing at all. I've got tons and tons of them, and I thought that alarm stopped. It's one of them. It stopped for a period, then it'll come back on again. Bloody hell. Let's persevere anyway. But his fangs are good. You know, he's got two rows of fangs. Yeah, fangs, teeth. Not they call them fangs, do they? That would be a werewolf. And he's got massive big button eyes. You know anything about a shark? He's got black eyes, like a doll's eyes, lifeless eyes. When he comes at you, don't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over right. And of course, in Jaws, he had the perfect chance to show what Quint has been saying. The sharks, the nicticating membrane, which rolls over a film which protects the shark's eyes when it goes in for close quarters combat. And then when it's biting him, don't you think, I'm sure if they've made it now, and God forbid they ever try to remake Jaws, you can't remake Jaws. Just do other shark films, obviously. Or do a Jaws sequel. God, we've had enough of them, haven't we? But they would have to put that in. The film Deep Blue Sea did show that, and they were Mako sharks. 35-foot shark, and he hit me. Says Thomas Jane. Love Thomas Jane, great actor. Doesn't mind making a fool of himself as well. But how cool is that? Yeah, that's what had the weight to it. That's nice and solid. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's move that along, shall we? Move that along there. Move down the bus a bit. Let's put that there. You watch the cat jump up now and knock everything flying. Right. There's the box. I still struggle with this thing. Do we keep the boxes or not? I've got every Funko box and NECA action figure box. I've got them all. And you know, if you're going to display the stuff in the boxes, that's great. But if you're going to take them out, so your figure is on display somewhere, but the box is piled up somewhere else, and you know, for one thing, it's a fire hazard. But you know, I'm out of space. But as much as I'm sort of loath to part with stuff, my son is really sort of OCD, and he would go in the bin. Oh, take it out. No, you're not throwing that out. And it's just a fucking box, you know. But of course, if you're going to sell something, you've got to put it back in the box and make it look like it's, you know, it's mint in box and all that. Like, right, okay. Well, before we go on to the Funkos, he's also sent me a Blu-ray of. I think this is a TV movie. I think I can't quite remember quite rightly. The USS Indianapolis. Can you see the connection, folks? Men of Courage. And this has Nick Cage playing the captain of the USS Indianapolis, a man who in the end committed suicide because he got the blame for so much of it. But you've got James Remar. James Remar is Ajax from The Warriors. I'll take that bat and shove up your ass and turn you into a popsicle. Come on, come on. Tom Sizemore. Maniac on screen and off screen. Great actor though. Love Tom Sizemore. Black Hawk Down, The Relic, awesomeness. And Point Break as well. And Thomas Jane, who I've just been talking about. At least Thomas Jane's got experience with sharks. But this is a dramatisation of the real life sinking of the USS Indianapolis, which we've discussed a million times over. And I know that Captain Ron said, "Have you seen this movie?" This is a while ago now. I said no, I've heard it's not it's not much good. So no, it is. You can tell it's a low budget sort of thing, or a lower budget, a bit of it's hokey, but it's got some really gripping moments, and the tension and suspense is great. So you should watch it. Well, I'm gonna have to now, aren't I? And when people send me movies, there's always a sort of hidden agenda. I want you to watch this movie, and then I want you to sit and review it as well on the channel. Okay, I promise you I will. So long as I hear him shout, "Alpacas!" at some point. Oh, this is where's this come from? This is not a UK or American disc. We've got some extras on it, which I can't quite read. I need to get this proper studio sorted out with proper lighting. Put the ring light on. I can't see a sodding thing. If I turn that off, then you can't see anything. So, no, it does look good. Yeah, it's all in is that German? Yeah, it's German. This is a German disc, folks. But it'll play perfectly well. I can play anything. Fantastic. Cheers, mate. Once again, I shall raise this cute little bottle in your honour, sir, and to all of you guys as well. Whatever you've got there, whatever tipple you have to hand, raise it now to the poor men of the USS Indianapolis. An impromptu shark banquet. I've discussed the real life incident a few times, and I've got a feeling that addresses, it wasn't just the sharks that took them, it certainly wasn't that. A lot of them died of their wounds, a lot of them died because they were drinking salt water, a lot of them were burned from the fuel that was on board the ship, so it was eating into them. A lot of them went mad and just swam off to invisible islands, and a lot turned on each other. They went crazy and turned on each other and murdered each other. Until you've been in that situation, you can't judge any activity, any deed that was done. You can't. So what we got now? Oh wow! Well, we've got two more Funkos. And we've got Dreyfus as Hooper, and what's he doing? Oh, it's Scuba Hooper, Scuba, but without the mask on. So he's got his glasses on, and of course Brody's going like, "Shark will rip that cage to pieces. You got any better suggestions?" It's the biggest blow up those two actually have. Don't you think in that scene? It's almost like there's a line missing. Brody just throws his jacket out, like, "Shark that cage to pieces," and there should be like I can still do this. No, you're insane. If you're going that, you're insane. You got any better suggestions? Because it goes from "Shark rip that cage to pieces" to "You got any better suggestions?" I just like doing that. Should do that more often. When you're on the way to, well, where do you want to go tonight then? Oh, I want to go to the Cask. Well, I want to go to the Telegraph. Well, I want to go to the Cask because, there's 10,000 people whose name is Chris in there, and I fit right on in. Well, I want to go there. And this could come on for ages. Well, you got any better suggestions? You can tell I made that up. I really didn't know where I was going to go with that. And in the end, it went fucking nowhere. But, yeah, he's in the cage, isn't he? And, but he's still got his spectacles on. And Brody taps him on the head, points to them, and he goes, and Brody puts them in his mouth. Like he's smoking a pipe. Hey you. Did you see that? That predator lurking around in the background. He starts knocking things over, like, and of course he gets his goggles and he's going to spit in them to clean the goggles out. You know, I got no spit. And it kind of like, it's so fatalistic, isn't it? He knows that he thinks he's the only chance they've got. The orca is sinking. We're going to sink, aren't we? You know? And so Hooper's like, well, if I can get him close enough, I can get him in the mouth or something. Shark that cage to pieces, you know. And Quint's been really disparaging about that cage, you know. Put up a shower and a nice shark cage, you know. You go in the cage goes in the water, you go in the water, shark's in the water, our shark. Farewell and adieu. All together now, you fair Spanish ladies. Do you mind? Bloody cats. Get out the shark's mouth, stupid fool. But he knows he's the only chance they've got. And it's clever that the film is structured, that he has his self-sacrificial dive, and you know the shark is much bigger, more powerful, more aggressive than he's prepared for. And of course the first boom, and that his harpoon's gone. He's like, oh God! And it's an amazing sequence. You know, I'm sure we all agree. And in the book, of course, Hooper gets killed. Hooper drives the boat. Hooper survives in the movie. Hooper dies in the book because he's been having an affair with Ellen Brody. So it's kind of his comeuppance. You know, what goes around comes around. You start eating my wife, then something's going to eat you. You know. And but it works. So he survives, obviously, and then the shark, like, I've just took out a cage. There's nothing you guys can do to me. This boat thing you're on, well, I'm having that as well. Jumps on the post, you know. And, you know, a shark that size and great whites come out the water. And we've already seen Bruce has already surfaced a few times and had a good look around. So he knows exactly what they're up to. Oh, by the way, there is a video planned which is going to be, or should I say this now? Should I give it some other enterprising YouTuber who might stray onto this little tiny channel which no one ever looks at and go, that's a good idea, I'm going to do that. So in fact, no. Another Jaws video lined up though, but I ain't saying what it is. There's a few more lined up. There's one which is very shark centric. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Should we get him out of the box? Let's do it. Let's do it. Head swivels. You know what these things are like. Did that cat just jump over me? Something did. Go back and replay that. Something happened then. But there he is. Glasses on. There's just the cat's here. Let's come back in again. His wetsuit's on. He's got his harpoon. What was it? Cyclic nitrate. Cycling nitrate. You know, get this little needle through his skin. No, I can't do that. But if I can get him close enough, I maybe can get him in the mouth. You know, it's a damn good plan. Yeah, that's a great little figure. See, it's a variation. I mean, you know who that is? The tufty sort of. It's not ginger hair. It's sort of blonde, sort of mousy blondish sort of hair. That's a good facsimile. That'll work. That's cool. Oh God. It's a 20-footer. 25. 3 tons of him. How can you not love this movie? It just keeps on giving. But by the way, a lot of you guys are way ahead of me because you've seen the stage production as well with Ian Shaw, Robert Shaw's son. It never played anywhere near the Kilted realm, so I couldn't go and see it. Well, you know, shit happens, doesn't it? And this is Quint. This is Quint. It doesn't tell you what the version is. Can't quite. He's holding. Oh, I know what it is. It's when Hooper first meets Quint. They go to recruit him after the estuary attack and all that. Shark! Sharks in the estuary! It's going into the pond! Now what? Oh yeah. This is. Oops. Oh, this is good. This is a good variation. All right. I don't know. Can you see that? It's Quint in. You don't see him holding the. You don't think you see him holding the jaws. You see him pick him up the air. He's boiling all the jaws that he's been captured in. From the sharks he's caught. He either sells them or he puts them on display in his big sort of dockside warehouse. His own personal fishery, sharkery you could call it. And and button eyes. But it is Robert Shaw though, isn't it? It is. Look at the side. It is him. What's that cat doing? My God. He's got his apron on, and he is wearing his Guernsey jersey. That's an old fisherman's jumper, and I've got it. Not the actual one, but I've got an exact replica of that, because all it is the famous Guernsey jersey. I always find that quite amusing, because the Channel Islands between the UK and France. Don't get political, Kilt-Man. Don't talk about dinghies. Don't talk about boats. Don't do it. And she's my hair bobble. She's nicked my hair bobble. And she's prancing around like some kind of feline ballerina with it. Don't eat it, you fool. I'll do my hair with that. You have the Channel Islands, and you have Guernsey, and you have Jersey's the biggest island of this thing. There's three. There's Jersey, Guernsey, and the other one. I have forgotten what it is. Oh my God! And I've been to all three as well. But a big sort of jumper's called a jersey, right? But it's the Guernsey fishermen that pretty much put this sort of jersey on the map, this jumper on the map. So it's a Guernsey jersey. And the two islands, a name dropped in it. So this is where they meet, or rather Hooper meets Quint for the first time. He's holding the jaws. He's got his apron on there as well. You see Quint's little mate as well, who had bigger scenes in the original movie, but he's not in a lot of them now. He never says a word. Big deleted scene is like, his name's Solomon, isn't it? Oh, God, I forgot his mate's name now. The little fella. Was always beside him, like, and he actually asked him, "Are you going to come out on this? We're going to catch this shark together." And he's like, "Mr. Quint, I'm doing this." Everyone's got a Stallone mouth, as far as I'm concerned. He's just like, "I'd rather not go on this," because he knows this shark. Swallow your whole, I've listened to you too often, Quint. I ain't going on this one. Okay, well, fuck off then, All the years I've been paying you, you little chum bucket swine, yeah. So then Brody and Hooper arrive, and Hooper's all made up, and he sees all the shark jaws everywhere. You think he'd have a bit of animosity about that, being he's an ichthyologist. He doesn't go out and catch sharks to kill them like the obsessive Quint does. He studies sharks, My husband tells me you're in sharks. Well, yeah, I never quite had it put like that before, but yes, I guess you could say I'm in sharks. And he turned an inboard into an outboard, and I swam to the shore, and I looked around, and I saw my boat being taken apart. But he's amazed by all the shark jaws and all obviously the paraphernalia that a shark fisherman has. And this larger life character that is Quint, who will become his friggin' nemesis throughout the rest of the bloody movie. You got city hands, Mr. Hooper. You've been counting money all your life. Hey, I don't need this. I don't need this working class hero crap. You're not going to do this aboard the ship, are you, Mr. Quint? Maybe I should go alone. No, it's my party. It's my charter. It's your charter. It's your party. It's my vessel. You're on board my vessel, master, mate, pilot, and I'm captain. We'll take him for ballast, chief. You got it. Who would be like that? Fuck off. But in this sequence, he's got his apron on. He does take the apron off, so you see that jersey in all its glory. And yeah, actually, try this. Made it myself. Pretty good stuff. Watch that scene. It's really clever. I'll just have some more of this, if you don't mind, if you please. The way it's structured, he offers the drink to Brody, and there's a ladder there leading to the upper floor, and so Quint's in the background looking through the footrests, the steps of the ladder. That's the way I'm looking at it. The steps of the ladder. Hooper is behind us when we're watching it. You can't see him, but you can see like Brody takes it like, and he just goes like that. Quint appears. You're thinking Quint is watching Brody and like staring. See how he takes to that, and it could be a test, which could well be the case. That's what's meant to be. One case of apricot brandy, blandy. I was going to say then, blandy brandy. I do prefer whiskey, to be honest. Anyway, I digress. He appears to be staring at Brody, but Quint's eyes, Robert Shaw's eyes, don't move from one position, if I remember rightly. And you're thinking like, he stares, and then you think, oh, he's staring at Hooper, because we know the animosity between those two is going to develop. So he doesn't like him anyway. He resents him right from the word go. This is Matt Hooper from the Oceanography. I know who he is. You know, he already knows. So he's done his background checks, his security vetting on this guy, and doesn't like what he's found. He's a city boy, you know, and all that. Maybe a big yahoo on the land. You know. Anyway, so his eyes don't leave a particular spot, and he's not looking at Brody. His eyes don't stop. And he goes, "Excuse me, Chief," and he walks off, and he goes straight to one of those great big broiling drums where he's got the shark jaws in, and that's when he picks it out with the big tongs and goes, checks it out and all that. So it's a kind of mystical sort of throwing of where's the focus, what's he on about? But you as a viewer, and when you watch it again and again and again and again, and the rest of us again and again and again and again, and forevermore, it works in every single way. He's watching Brody, he's also eyeballing Hooper, but he's also looking at this thing. How many eyes has he got? Multiple focus, like a spider, you know. Quint, just endlessly awesome, isn't he? You watch that scene again, and just, I guarantee you're thinking he's looking at Brody. Then you think, oh, he's looking at Hooper. You never think, oh, no, he's actually checking on that bloody set of jaws he's put into it to broil and clean him up and all that. Like, what is it he says? Like, when he first go in there, you know, $10,000, Chief. $200 a day, whether I catch him or not, you know, you got it. And one case of apricot brandy. And Brody says like 2 cases, and you get dinner when we get back. But Quint only asks for 1 case of apricot brandy. Pretty fur, Iranian caviar, and don't forget the colour TV. Don't forget the colour TV. It's just genius, isn't it? God, I love it. I don't think there's any film more quotable than Jaws. Oh yeah, I'm Spartacus, you know. I'm Brian, and so is my wife. Obviously, you know, you got Lethal Weapon, you've got Alien, you've got, oh God, fucking hell. Yo, stop your grinning and drop your linen. You've got quotes from every movie that you know and love, and a lot of the ones that you can't stand as well. But Jaws, almost every single scene and every piece of dialogue is memorable and quotable. Can we go home now? Come and get it. We even know how the intonations of their voices sound. And the thing about Jaws is the dialogue is overlapping. They stutter, they stammer, they correct themselves, they roll over each other. The dialogue and the delivery is ultra realistic. That's how people speak in real life. And you know, that's phenomenal. Howard Hawks was always, you know, monikered as the guy, you know, the great Western director. Well, he made many movies, you know, went all over the world making movies, it wasn't just Westerns. But he's always the one quoted as being the guy that pioneered overlapping dialogue. And in some ways, that becomes very theatrical. But they all delivered their lines perfectly, impeccably. But they would interrupt each other, but they'd still say their lines. But Jaws and a lot of like modern TV shows and a lot of modern movies, if they're worth their salt, the dialogue's very realistic, with pregnant pauses and words which are missaid, mispronounced, and like consternation on the actors' faces. But it works as a genuine piece of verbal conflict, verbal interaction. So Jaws, I think, is the real pioneer for that. Howard Hawks maybe set the ball in motion, but certainly Jaws is the one that made it really work. And Jaws 2 is the same. Jaws 2 carries that on, especially the likes of Lorraine Gary and Roy Scheider together, you know, and Mayor Vaughan, Murray Hamilton, you know, it's just perfect. So even I run out of words to describe how great Jaws is. And that takes some doing, believe me. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Captain Ron. Loving these. Film to watch. Lots and lots of potatoes to devour. And these figures to really enjoy. They're not going back in the box. None of my Funkos are in the box. Not. My kids have both got Funkos. A lot of Liverpool Football Club Funkos. A lot of Harry Potter Funkos as well. But they've kept them in the boxes. Whatever, you know. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I don't tell anyone else what to do, so long as no one else tells me what to do. Because they ain't gonna do it, put it that way. But it's still too hot to wear. I mean, what was I saying in the other video? You know, I don't wear sleeves throughout a good portion of the year. A good third of the year, the middle third of the year, seasonally, I do not wear sleeves. It's just a vest, simple as that. I'll have to, if I have to put something on, I will do that has sleeves. But otherwise, But this, which came from H-Rock, Halloween Rock in South Alabama. Remember the video on this? He sent me this. Amity Police. And it is the Jaws 2 variant because of that particular badge. But it's Brody. Now, Captain Ronnie actually sent me the name for Brody to put on here, which I've not done it as yet because he doesn't wear it in the movie. He doesn't wear a name tag in the movie at all. But I think it would be nice. I have worn this out, but because it's like this khaki colour and it's very tight, and it's been exceptionally hot, you're gonna have great big sweat buckets underneath. Forget about chum buckets, sweat buckets. Oh my god! Don't be sharks coming after you. It'd be like a horde of mosquitoes coming after you. Because I sweat pure whiskey, and mosquitoes do seem to like whiskey. Oops a daisy, and so you get like a big wet patches. But I have worn this out on hot days and gone to the pub, and I was thinking I'm sweating cobs here, and yet I went to the powder room and had a little look. I thought, oh my god, it's going to be nasty this. And although yeah, it was very wet, but you're loving this, aren't you? Everyone sweats, and you couldn't see it. It kind of wicks it away in some sort. This material kind of wicks it away. Otherwise, like Roy Scheider would have been drenched in sweat. I'm sure he would. You know, parading around Martha's Vineyard, and later on down in Florida for Jaws 2. It's not Martha's Vineyard, the vast majority of Jaws 2, as we guys all know. Cheers again. Oh, this stuff is great. You know, I like Scotch, and you know, some Irish whiskies, but well, all Irish whiskies. I love Japanese whiskies, but I'm a Scotch drinker. With this Canadian rye whiskey, and they're spelling whiskey without the E before the Y at the end, which means they've done it to the Scottish distillers standards. If you don't do it that way, you've got to call it whiskey with a K-E-Y at the end. So they've done it properly. I've not read all the blurb on the back of this, but it's distilling processes, which I'm sure they're listed there. But it is good stuff, yeah. Sun's just appeared again. everyone was saying last night in the pub, well, we were outside the pub actually, and the sun was still out, and I sort of flaunt myself, you know. My feet are up on the low wall, the kilt's flying everywhere, or I stand with my foot on the wall, like I'm the sort of, you know, the mascot, the figurehead on the prow of a boat, and I'm standing there drinking whiskies, and traffic's flowing past, people going like that. It's Kilt-Man. I saw something else there. I didn't see a kilt. I saw a big anaconda or something, you know. I love doing that. And not flashing, but just, you know, strutting me stuff, and like, you know, people are going like, that's Kilt-Man. And but we were sitting outside, and everyone was saying, except for me, you can tell the temperature's dropped. And weirdly, where that pub is, you've got where you're situated, and it's where we live on Rate Lane. The Kilt Mansion resides on Rate Lane. You go over our drawbridge, and then you've got the road there, the main road. But we back on the cemetery, right? Which is behind me, right? Ridley Scott, right? Everything's right at the end, you know. And maybe 9010, but I'm still making Gladiator 3, 4, and 5, and more Alien movies, right? No, Ridley, just stop now. But the cask is further up the road and on the other side. And further down there, you've got New Brighton. And the wind howls around a place called Stroud's Corner, which goes over the sort of a high point and then sweeps down and turns a couple of different directions. But the wind howls down that. So all of this year, we've been sitting outside the cask, and the wind's been blowing from the right into your face, you know, into the right side of your face. And your hair's going, if you've got hair, most of the people there haven't got any hair, and no one's got hair. And it's all going right down that way, like that. And but last night, the wind, for the first time I can ever recall in this particular place, was blowing from the other side. And it was a good few degrees lower than what we've been used to. So they're all going like, oh, you know what, you can tell it's changed. I'm giving them Quint's voice, you can tell it's changed. Season's changed. It's gone like 3 or 4 below. Yeah. I know he's one big smart fish, or he's gone below. He's gone under. You know, he's gone under the boat. And so they all went inside, and I thought, fuck that. So I stayed outside. This is not by any stretch of anyone's imagination going to be cold. So I stayed out for a lot longer. Came back with hypothermia. Whiskey. It's all that can revive me now. Look at this. People would say I'm alcoholic. And they'd be right. Cheers to all of those. So what we got again? We got Hooper. Scuba Hooper. About to make his dive. Oh, the tank. You screw around with these, they're going to blow up. And of course that sticks in Brody's mind. Brody's like a child. He keeps learning things as he goes along. He's us. He's the everyman. Quint's an expert. Hooper's an expert. Brody is an expert in law enforcement on an island where there's been no crime for 4 years. You know, for nothing. You know, more than 4 years. You know, there hasn't been a shooting or a robbery. You know, I'm telling you, in this town, one man can make a difference. And he's pissed as a fart. You remember, he's the chief of police. And he's pissed. He's out on the boat. You know, I can't do that. Yes, you can. And he's just said previously, I'm the chief of police. I can do anything. It's fucking brilliant. They contradict each other as well, and themselves as well. But so Hooper, you screw around with these tanks, they're going to blow up. It's compressed air. And we all know it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. They can explode, but they're not going to go fucking, you know, supernova, big nuclear bloody eruption. They're not going to do that at all. But for filmic purposes and destruction of 25-foot great white sharks, yes, it's very necessary. So you get all that. But Brody remembers. So for a long time, when I was a kid watching Jaws, and the boat's going down, Quint's being shot, you don't know where Hooper is. Well, we know he's swimming behind the rocks, but Brody has got no idea about that. And it won't help him anyway. So the boat's going down. He's getting the rifle. You know, he's got the harpoon and all that. But the shark comes smashing through the cabin window, and that's a terrifying. It's got bits of Quint's flesh hanging off its teeth. Oh my god! But of course, Brody picks up. He sees the air tank floating there. Right, bang, bang, and what a clang on those teeth. Those teeth aren't giving way, are they? Bang, bang, throws it in. You think that Brody's just doing it because, oh, I just fucking find this. It could be a pot or a pan, plate, like in Dog Soldiers. You know, how do I give you the shit? And he's fucking hitting with all the pots and pans and everything, like the big Dog Soldier werewolf, which is just Lassie, just a big tall man on those blades, you know. But a big Lassie head. They are not scary werewolves. They are not. It's a great film. Loads of suspense, loads of gore. Once you see those werewolves, for me, I'm like, oh, it's Lassie. It's going to stroke them. They're too cute. It is just like a man just put a big mask on. It's not like it's a... Anyway, look, I'm fucking going off on another tangent. But you think that Brody's just found this thing and he's like, well, I'll use this as anything just to beat it off with. No. He's remembered because the fact he sees it floating there. Right, I know what this does. Boof. He's got the rifle. Why do you think he's shouting, blow up? You know, come, blow up. You know, smile, you son of a... Can you believe how elated you would be at that moment that you've actually done it? Oh, he was right, it does blow up, and my god, I got this fucking shark. Quince, you couldn't do it. Hooper, you couldn't do it. Hooper comes up, oh. It's just fucking genius. It is such genius. I am stunned that in Jaws 2 that they don't make more reference to Quint. They mention Hooper, and obviously you've got the orca there. They don't mention Quint. And wouldn't you have thought a town like that, having done what they did to save the town, there would be great big bronze statues of the three of them? Don't you think that would be the case? I do. You've also only got Brody and Hooper's word for what actually genuinely happened. They've got to explain where Quint has gone. Well, Quint got chomped. Well, you got any evidence of that? Well, yeah. No, not really, no. Maybe bits floating around, you know, but the Atlantic, you know. And washed up on Cable Junction, you know. And if not there, then Ireland, you know. You think about the ramifications of these scenarios. You've got to explain where someone's gone. And, oh God, I don't know, why am I going to do this now? There's a lot to do with Ben Gardner which really should be addressed. You know, it was Ben Gardner's boat. It was all banged up. You know, you should have seen him. They don't talk about Ben Gardner's body. We know Ben Gardner has not been eaten by the shark. Oh, everyone says, oh, his severed head, you know, the head is still attached to the body. It's still attached. I've done videos on this. He hasn't been eaten by the shark. The shark, that fucking 25 foot of that thing, 3 tons of it. Even watching Susan Bethany getting dragged on at the start. If you're honest with yourselves, you've seen the size of that shark. It would have took her straight away. It wouldn't be just throwing around. It just sees their leg. It's bigger than that to do that. It's not going to be tossing around and let it go. In the book, a leg gets severed, of course, and like she gets to clings on to the buoy, or as Americans say, the buoy. The buoy. It's a buoy, but it doesn't sound good, does it? Clinging on to the buoy. Let's call it a buoy from now on, shall we? But you can't show the shark, obviously. And the Alex Quinton to death. Originally, the whole shark was going to come out the water and chomp him. I've done videos on this. I did a massive video about that huge deleted scene. And yeah, there's a damn good reason why that's not there. It gives away the size of the shark. So there's going to be no reason to have Brody say, "You can need a bigger boat." Because he's already seen the shark. He'd be saying to anyone, you know, you're all gonna need bigger boats. I've seen it. It's fucking huge. know. You could go on forever, but I'll save a lot more of this for later videos. But basically, what a great haul again. USS Indianapolis. That will be interesting. That I remember like saying to Captain Ronnie at the time, like when he mentioned, "Have you seen this movie?" I went, "Oh, that's meant to be a load of crap." That. But he went, no, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I'll take it under advisement and I will watch it. And I love Nick Cage. I love James Remar. I love Thomas Sizemore and Thomas Jane. What a fucking cast. What a fucking cast. You know, each one of those guys could scare a great white shark to death, you know. Alpacas. If you don't know what that reference is, check it up. Nick Cage, alpacas. Just do it. Well, there you go, folks. A massive hoard of potatoes. My daughter is really going to be dying to come down and start preparing her lunch, brunch, banquet, whatever. And the good thing about her food's great. And because she's a vegetarian, she shares. I'm not a veggie, I'm a pure carnivore, but I'll eat anything really. I'm an omnivore, but I prefer meat. But whatever she makes is fabulous, and she always makes an extra portion for me. So it's not only her lunch, it's my lunch too. Blow up! Smile, you son of a... It's the most cathartic ending to any movie. And you know, all our favourites, our Predators, our Rambo movies, our Alien movies, you know, I've got Lethal Weapons, anything, Zulu, looking, any movie you can imagine. There's no more genuine euphoric moments than Brody blowing Bruce to bits. That's a nice bit of alliteration, wasn't it? And this little tinkling on the piano, it's genteel and almost elegiac, and that's the shark, the monster that's been destroyed. But you do feel pangs of sorrow for it, and I've always, as a kid, I thought that as well. Maybe it's because of John Williams' music there. This sort of beautiful sort of descent into the depths of, and half of its carcass is dribbling all over the ocean. But you do feel pangs of like sorrow for the shark. It's only doing what sharks do. Or is it? There's a hint for the video I was mentioning slightly earlier. Bruce saying no more shark. No, he's not. He's not. Well, folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man. So please, in the meantime, and it's ever like, oh God, I can't think of anything to say in the in-between time. Normally, I flood that little gap there with a load of exponential bullshit. Because of Jaws, my mind was in about 1,000 different directions, trying to pluck little quotes and put them together, and I got overloaded. I couldn't do it. I'm getting older, folks. I'm not as spontaneous as I once was. Hey! No, I still am. Yeah, I've still got it. Right, I'll be back soon-ish. And in the meantime, you guys please stay loose, stay frosty, stay alert. And everyone, listen to my voice. Tell everyone, everywhere, watch the skies. Keep looking, keep watching, watch the skies. Or in this case, watch the waves. Right, I'm out of here, folks. Please be happy, be yourselves, be sensible to a degree. There's always a threshold of sensibility, you know, sense and sensibility. When you get pushed, you don't have to like toe the line. If you get pushed, enough, you're going to turn, not advocating what you may think I'm advocating, or am I? Paradoxical? No. A lot of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. But, you know, Jaws rules. And Jaws is a unifying force. There isn't a country in the world. There isn't a people in the world. There isn't a long lost cannibal tribes in South America, right deep down the Amazon. You go in there and you go like, you come here. you're in the cooking pot. You one chance to try to appease the tribe. You start going like, never gonna. Oh, and you go, yeah. And they're going, no, that's what we do to you. And you go, shit, that backfired. Right, I'm out of it.